Thank you for inviting IICA to this meeting, this workshop. I think we were here at the last one that Kellyanne mentioned. I know this is a pitch, so I'm going to get right into it because we don't have the whole morning to talk about the issues. And the topic, as is here, is importance of women and youth in agriculture. So I am making an assumption that all of us here are fully aware that agriculture is already an important sector. It is big business, it is important to the environment, important to our health, important to the future, so therefore that is not my pitch this morning. My pitch is to ensure that we fully appreciate the importance of integrating women and youth in the development process in agriculture, for ourselves, for our future, for the environment. So to begin, this is a fact. This is a fact established by the IFPRI, the FAO, IICA, CARDI, everybody who works in agriculture, the OECD, everybody. It is a fact that women, over the decades that women have been around, have always been involved in agriculture at some form, at some level, always. So it's not something that we're introducing women to. They've always had initiative to take something in agriculture and convert it into something else. So that's a fact. But the issue has always been that women have been on the negative side of development. That is, unequal rights to assets and to resources. We all know, I'm talking to the young people across there, that for you to develop, you need to have access to everything that others have. And because we are women, and because the laws of history did not favor that, we have always been on the negative end of assets and resources. So we have to fight even harder to get those assets and resources to get ourselves into business, into development. So we have a double fight, but we don't give up. So that is a fact. And therefore, rather than saying the women are to be involved, the terminology has tended to talk about empowerment. And empowerment simply means that we help you or us to help ourselves, basic empowerment. So that is a fact that we have to acknowledge when we engage in women in agriculture. We're now beginning to appreciate another fact, that youth are drawn to activities and careers that are hands-on, dynamic, innovation-friendly, and sometimes unconventional. Because youth are youth. They want to do things differently, they want to do things that are new, that are exciting, and therefore we need to appreciate that about the youth. They're not going to do things that we expect them to do or we want them to do. They need to do things that they're driven to do and they're attracted to. ICTs is a perfect attraction for youth. I mean, from a baby, the phone, they pick it up. You give a baby a toy remote control, they know it's a toy remote control. They want the real remote control. So we have to appreciate with the youth that they really are driven to things that's in their DNA. And ICT is in their DNA now. So that's an established fact that agencies like IICA, CARDI, FAO, is beginning to realize, and that's why we have to engage youth. So therefore, we're no longer saying that youth are not attracted or need to be involved. We are saying that youth need to be engaged. And engaged doesn't mean just you invite them to a meeting and they sit down there and you don't feel like you're part of it. Engaged means we talk to you, you talk to us, and we have a conversation. We don't preach at you, we don't lecture to you. We have a conversation. That is engagement. When you're engaged, you're part of the process, and therefore you invest in the process. Your time, your efforts, your ideas, your energies, and everything. Even if you don't have the money or the capital, but that is a contribution. So don't forget that. That is another important established fact. Youth. I crossed out the word involved because involved is passive now in our language, especially for the youth. So we need to get you engaged. Why do we need to get you engaged? Because, think of yourself. Youth come preloaded with ideas, drive, energy, and time. We need to recognize that as an asset, as their collateral, and therefore effectively help them to channel it into avenues that they are most inclined to want to do, right? Just an aside, my daughter is doing CSEC now. She had a meltdown the other day, that you forced me to do ad math. This is where I am now. But she's doing ad math anyway, whether she likes it or not. Should I have done that? I don't know. So that's something we have to think about, right? So you're preloaded, you come preloaded with those things. We shouldn't take it out from you and expect to put back something in that you don't need. First issue. Second one, youth are more inclined to adopt technology. Innovation is their magnet. It will sustain their involvement and drive future agriculture. You're more inclined. You will pick it up and you can do it. I pick it up and I have to ask, what do I do? Thirdly, Youth will force much needed change in attitudes, in image, and in the outlook for agriculture. You're not going to do agriculture the same way your father or grandfather did it. You're not going to do it. You don't want to do it. We shouldn't expect you to want to do it that way, because you have your own ideas. You see things, you observe, and you want to put your observations into practice your way. So these are 3 reasons, just 3 of a number of reasons, but I think these 3 are overarching enough to capture most of the other reasons why we need to engage youth in agriculture, and therefore scratch the word involve. And of course, youth is 15 to 24, so I'm out of that category. Women, GL, the women, everybody, the women. We already have a good head start, women. We come with a good head start. Why? Because we are already willing, we are able, we are already invested, and we are already involved. A lot of women in the homes have a kitchen garden. A lot of women, when they have extra stuff in their kitchen, they bottle it and they process it. A lot of women, when they have extra stuff, they go in the market and they sell it to neighbors. They are already involved. So there's not an issue that we have to start to involve them. They're already there. What we need to do is to recognize the scope and the capacity of their existing involvement and build on it in a way that enhances their sustainability. Not in a way where we expect them to reach a certain level and they're really not prepared yet, so they have this mental block and they get frozen because they're afraid to move to the next stage. They're already involved. Women have an inherent tendency for trial and error when venturing into new areas, which is good for sector dynamics. We will try something once, it doesn't work, we wouldn't just stop. We'll try it again and again until we get it perfect. We like to get things perfect, and that is why we always try. So women are more inclined for trial and error, and they can accept failure. And the failure doesn't daunt us, we will go on. So we need that kind of attitude and mindset in agriculture. 3rd point, we are critical to create and to nurture a strong intergenerational agriculture. We always hear in our institutions that there's no succession planning, the farmers are aging, youth are not involved, the farmers don't want their children to go into agriculture because it's hard work and so forth. If a mother in a house with a farming community tells a child, son or daughter, listen, this is what I'm doing, I'm going to engage you, let us do it together, involve, the child will grow up with the idea that this is a good thing, I want to do it too. If the mother says, no, go to high school, go to A level, go to 6th form, wherever, go and become a doctor, lawyer, teacher, something. I don't want to do no farming. There is no intergenerational in this picture. And therefore, if the women don't do it, it's not going to happen. So that is an important part of the agriculture. And to almost end my pitch, I'll go to this one. Consider this. The benefits from engaging and empowering women and youth have a huge multiplier effect. Agriculture alone as a sector already has a multiplier effect because it weaves all in every single thing in the economy and environment. If we engage women and youth, the multiplier effect multiplies even further, and that just continues and continues. So that is good for everybody. But the strategies to involve women and youth should not be the same, since while these 2 groups share similar challenges, their disadvantages do not always stem from similar origins, and nor did their capacities convert into the same outcomes. So we have to recognize that as well. Last slide before Kellyanne cut my mic. Last slide. Some women are also youth. I was a youth. These youth grow into women. I've grown into women, but not all youth are women. Hence, the strategies cannot be the same, but we have to engage the both. So with this, I hope I've been able to at least give an idea of why it's important to engage both women and youth, not as the same set, but as individual groups in their own right. Thank you very much.